If you have Redding, California on your map as a place you're considering moving to, have you considered if you can actually afford to live here, or maybe if you even really want to live here? Well, that's for you to decide in this week's episode. Barrett, and welcome back to Rooted in Redding. Now, I know a lot of people lump California as a whole and say it's expensive, overpriced, and they would never move here, but I consider Redding to be a bit of a more affordable option for you. We definitely aren't the cheapest place to live, but we aren't the most expensive either, and often people can find an affordable compromise here in Redding, especially if you're wanting to stay in California. So in today's episode, we're going to cover a lot from the cost of living, school ratings, economy, healthcare options, a general overview of politics and crime. I will say before we start that some categories, like politics, might trigger some people to comment, and I'm merely just stating facts rather than taking sides. So to give you a little context, if this is your first time watching Rooted in Redding, I have lived here my whole life, and I'm here to give you just a little bit more insight into the area I call home to see if it's a good fit for you. So let's get started. Number one, cost of living. As a realtor, we see the numbers on a monthly basis of what the median sales price is here in Redding. As of April 2024, the year-to-date median sales price was roughly about $360, similar to 2023's year-to-date number. According to the bestplaces.net, Redding is 49.3% less expensive than the average California home, which cost roughly $733,000. So if you aren't planning on buying right away and would rather rent, the average rent price is roughly about $1,600 a month. A great place to explore available rentals here in our area is through local property managements, Trulia, Zillow, Apartments.com, or even Facebook groups like Redding Rentals. Number two, let's talk about the economy. You'll find that the average household median income is roughly around $70,000, and we have about a 5.6% unemployment rate right now, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. With Redding being a little bit more rural, some of the higher paying jobs in our area are healthcare, architect, engineering, first responders, and chief executives. Number three, for those moving to our area, I am often asked what the politics are like and what to expect. Having grown up here my entire life, you do feel a stronger sense of community, supporting locals, and a different pace of life compared to the big cities. Based on evaluating the percentage of registered voters in our area, we lean more towards being a conservative county, and in the last presidential election, Shasta County was 65% Republican and 32.3% Democratic. All right, now before you start commenting below, this isn't to highlight a right or wrong side, it's merely to present the facts for your new lifestyle here. Number four, let's dive into the healthcare options. Being a little bit more rural, you should definitely be aware of what specialty and hospital options we have here. Fun fact, prior to going full-time in real estate, I graduated from Simpson University with my bachelor's in science. I worked at Mercy Medical Center as a registered nurse, so I have a little bit of a better background of the healthcare options we have here. So Redding has two major hospitals. We have Shasta Regional and Mercy Medical Center, and both offer a little bit of a different skill set, services, and credentials that you should be aware of. However, the disadvantage is that the wait list can be a bit long to get into that provider for certain specialties, as there might be just one or two providers for that service. Also, for more complex pediatric healthcare, children are generally referred out to larger universities down south due to the lack of resources to support the child. Number five, let's talk about crime. Safety is definitely a huge part in feeling confident in your move, and I will say I've lived here my whole life, and like with any area, there are parts that you don't ever really see a crime report, and there are areas that you definitely have more foot traffic and a bit more of track record of consistent issues. I won't lie that on paper and over articles, our crime rate is a bit higher than some areas in the US, and there are definitely areas where the homeless foot traffic is a bit more present than others. However, like any area, it's going to come with its good and bad. Although it's not a perfect system, our city is trying to build out more services, resources, temporary housing, and solutions to make a change for the better. Having lived here my entire life, I personally feel safe here, and I've never experienced an issue, and I really try to help educate people if they decide to live here about the different dynamics each side of our area can offer. And lastly, our education system. Now, moving to any new area, especially if you're a family, your highest priority might not be any of the topics we addressed above, but could be centered around the education system. Although I don't have kids, I've done a lot of research on my own to help further guide families in their move here. Fun fact, I was personally homeschooled my entire life, and I know you're probably thinking like, this girl's pretty normal for being homeschooled, but hey, we're just breaking the stereotype that we don't all live under a rock and we aren't complete introverts. However, what I will say about being homeschooled my entire life is that our area has a lot of great options for charter schools and networking connections with other families to make that goal of homeschooling less of a daunting task. Currently, our top-rated school here is UPrep. This school resides on the west side, and it's a public charter school and serves grades 6 through 12. The highest rated elementary school here is Grant School, and it's also public and it serves K through 8. And if you want to guess, it also resides on the west side of Reading. For higher education, our two primary options are Shasta College, which is a large community college, and Simpson University, which is our Christian university. Both are close to each other on the east side of Reading. So that wraps up this week's episode. I hope you found this information helpful, and if you're curious to learn a little bit more what it's like to live in Reading, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications. That way you won't miss out on any of our future content, which is designed to help you not only find a home, but a community to thrive here in Reading. We'll catch you on next week's episode.